Welcome to Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart.
We are your hosts. I am Katina Robinson.
And I'm Mr. Ronnie Robinson.
And let us tell you a little bit about Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart, and where it comes from, which is Genesis chapter 2, verse 23 and 24.
And Adam said, "This is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Amen.
Yes, amen.
Woo.
Yeah. One flesh in the house, one flesh. One flesh. Okay, let's move on, baby.
Girl, don't get me started.
All right. And the second half of Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart comes from Matthew 6 and 21, which says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
Kaboom. Shaboom. Shaboom. You know my heart. You know what my heart. My treasure box is always full. But just one thing that makes it full. And this is this later. You are so right about that. Seriously. Yes. When I go to my treasure box, my baby's there, and I just love gleaming from her, and she gleaming from me. We like iron sharpening iron. We love each other to the fullest, and we don't have to tell you that. We know that.
And so, Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart, purpose is to encourage couples to remember love is worth fighting for.
But you gotta get some more punch in that. I like it.
All right, let's punch it out. All right, y'all. We are so excited tonight. We have special guests. So we're going to tell you a little bit about those guests and then bring them on. So let's get ready and welcome our guests. We have Marshall and Karen Ayers have been helping men, women, and children work through life-controlling problems since 2007. They established Broken Branches Ministry over 10 years ago. Broken Branch Ministry is dedicated to refreshing, rejuvenating, and restoring broken people through the Word of God. Broken Branches is about helping people restore broken relationships and overcome life-controlling problems that bind people from living in victory. Wow, powerful. They also own Broken Branch Counseling LLC, which provides counseling and life coaching services to individuals and couples. Karen is a licensed professional counselor and graduated from Spelman College and Liberty University. Karen specializes in trauma, depression, anxiety, and grief related to past and present life events. She is empathetic listener who has a heart to hear and walk alongside people who are struggling with situations that have them stuck due to the hurts that they have experienced in their life. Her goal is to help you uncover the greatness that is already in you, empower you to activate this greatness, and provide you with the tools for you to lead a life that is fulfilling and provides balance. Marshall is a life coach and has experience as a pastoral counselor.
Come on, Pastor.
And is currently obtaining his degree in substance abuse counseling.
Come on, man.
Marshall is a minister who has over 20 years of recovery.
Awesome.
He is also a former professional athlete and graduate from Teen Challenge Ministry. Marshall has been blessed to work with many young men from different backgrounds, race, ethnicities, and physical disabilities. He continues to help men build their dreams and equip them with the tools that they need to be successful. Together, they are a power couple devoted to teaching, equipping, and walking people through healing that comes from the unadulterated Word of God. They have been married for 15 years and have 5 children and 7 grandchildren and reside in Fayetteville, Georgia. Let's bring on our special guest.
Hey. Powerful intro.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was an awesome intro.
Yes, you guys' bio are amazing. Y'all are just about blessing people. That's what it sums up to be.
We are so proud of y'all. I mean, seriously, we are so proud to be associated with you guys because you know what? We ask God to always enhance our circle of
Yes.
people that is truly sons and daughters of Jesus Christ. And that is what I'm so proud to be associated with you guys. Y'all put Christ first. And like my logo always say, or my motto always say is, if she's chasing God more than she's chasing you, that means you got the right one, Marshall. Or vice versa. And I believe you two do that thing like that. So my wife and I, we love to do it that way too. So
and the feeling is mutual. The feeling is likewise too. Awesome ministry, bone in my bone. You know, I mean, we watch it all the time. It blesses us. You know,
thank you.
and
We receive it.
you all more blessings with your endeavors. And looking forward to also coming to that retreat you got coming up.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that later.
Excited about that. But thank you so much for thinking of us and having us on tonight. We're
yes, of course. We just have to work out each other's schedules. All of us are so busy.
Yes.
I know, right? That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes. So let's dive into tonight's topic, which is blended families. Woo, that's a whole mouthful right there.
Which one gonna start this?
Karen, you go ahead and talk.
Okay, I always kind of like to give a historical aspect of things before we, can kind of put it in context. Before we kind of dig into it. But right now in 2021, the majority of family units have shifted from the original biologically bonded mother, the father, and that child scenario that we have traditionally seen in the past. So now blended families or step families are now more common in the United States, in part due to the fact that nearly half of marriages, unfortunately, in the United States end in divorce. So that's why what you all are doing is such an amazing thing, so that we can kind of curb those statistics. But now the majority of families are divorced. So with that, we have the average American family the marriage lasts about 8 years. Right? So we have about 1,300 new step families that are forming each and every day. So over 50% of the US population are remarried or recoupled individuals. And 70% of remarriages involve children that end up in divorce within the first 5 years. So after we remarry, 70% of those remarriages are going to end in divorce too. So then you have further. So if you had children out of the remarriage and you blended those families, they divorce. And then if they're recoupled again, so you have all this convoluted, all these different dynamics that come into play in relationships.
I mean, like bringing a family or bringing two parents together and some children, that can be very difficult, especially when some other man has already set that table. And they've already set the table, and it can be very challenging, and children, children can be, it can be a challenge, and one of the things, I guess we'll talk about this a little later, but I just, I really want men to know that the devil, the enemy, is really after men. And it started back in Genesis 3:15, with the seed of the woman, because he knows that he can get 2 for 1. See, if I can get the man, then I can have dysfunction within everybody, because he's the head,
Right.
And so we'll talk a little bit about that, Karen, but just wanted to say how it can be very difficult because the table has already been set.
And the interesting thing about that too, when we're talking about the table's been set, we have the history of the ex, we have the history of the partner, we have the history of the children, we have the genes of both.
We definitely talk about that.
Right. So when we come into this blended family, I'm bringing my baggage, I'm bringing my trauma, I'm bringing my luggage, I'm bringing my triggers, and so is my husband, so are the children. So then you have all of this. I say in counseling a lot, working with families to try to deal with blended families. I tell them, you all are on 2 different rockets.
Right.
There's a rocket of you and your spouse. Y'all are all in love and going off into the sunset. But the kids are
they're saying it's the echoes on you guys' end.
Let's see. Let me check.
I heard that. I wasn't for sure what it was. But I'm not for sure. It almost
let me
you might just have to turn your mics down just a little bit.
Well, that's too low.
Now we can't hear you at all. Can't hear you.
We can't.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear us.
What about
now we can. Now we can.
Is that better?
Yes,
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know where that score came from.
Okay, so the
okay.
Let us know if it comes back or not.
Okay.
Okay, so but anyway, so I kind of hear it going up. I don't know where that's coming from though.
I think you just have to turn your volume down just a little bit, and that may work.
Can you hear us
what about now?
Oh yeah, we hear you clearly, but we don't know on your end if you're still echoing or not. That's
yeah, I heard that. And I was like,
all right, so I have volume.
I thought we had a parrot in here or something. What, you got a parrot over there?
No, we ain't got no parrot up here.
We have these two different rockets that we're trying to collide.
Yeah.
You know, the kids trying to understand what it's like to be with these new people.
Well, hey guys, let's break it down for them like this. Since we both all have blended families, you know, I think people should consider what comes with a blended family.
Come on, yeah.
Right?
Let's talk about it.
There may be some people on here wondering, do I want to marry him and he got a couple of kids, or do I want to marry her and she got 2 children? And not really realizing that when you marry into a family, you marry into a family.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that I've learned about blended families that I didn't take in, how can I say, I'll say it like this. My dad, when he was living, this was my first wife, and she had a couple of kids. And my dad said, boy, why would you want to, you know, take responsibility of somebody else? And I thought to myself, I said, he's selfish. You know what I mean? He's so selfish. And then as the years went on, it hit me. And I saw, and what he was saying was that you're taking on the responsibility of another man, but you're also taking on the responsibility of marrying to another family. And when we marry into families, they have a history.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what that history might be. Sometimes that history could be there could be abuse.
Yeah.
It could be sexual molestation.
Yeah.
It could be so many different things. And let's say you have a baby by that person in the family, and your child grows up and you're seeing some, you know, activities that you don't know, but one spouse knows what's going on, but they're being quiet about it. And you're like, man, what's going on? That's not in our family. So what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to be married and take on a blended family, you have to consider while you're dating and being open and honest what you're really getting into. And I know y'all on that.
And counting the cost.
Yes.
You know, you have to count the cost of what that looks like, and counting the cost of what the heart looks like, and of these individuals, and what that will entail.
Okay, and let's rewind it even back deeper. And also it's very important when you marry into a blended family that you get counseling before you marry, because I fell in love with her, but I also fell in love with the bundle, with the kids too. And I knew what was on the table. I knew, you know, we talked about, okay, well, now if you want me in your life, Mr. Robinson, you got to deal with my son and my daughters, and they got me and some other bloodline in them. You have to deal with that. Are you ready to deal with that? Are you ready to embrace that and to raise that and be the best you can be as a I'll say covenant father for those theologians and theologians and all them out there. But coveted sons and daughters, are you going to be that father? Can you accept this on this table? You see these marbles, right? Can you accept that? And that's very important.
And Ronnie, you know, what you're saying right here is really important, because what you're saying is that you were ready to step up to play the role as to be the head of the house. And as a man, the man should understand that everybody plays a role in that part, but you're the teacher.
Yes.
And if you haven't had any counseling, or if you haven't had a good support group, or if you haven't been around somebody to where you can bounce some things off of, it's easy to get lost because you can't go on your natural thinking
That
because
is so
you're
true.
stepping into a whole different new dynamic, dealing with different attitudes, personalities. And you know, I always like to say there's good in everybody, but we do have some demonic behaviors. So if you're just looking at the person and not looking at the spirit that's driven behind that, which is usually the root of what's going on. And for me, I learned that the difficult way because I came through the house. I came through the house like, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that, and then I learned through the years. God said, "There's a difference become." He said, "There's a difference in coming through the house and coming in the house. Coming in the house means spending some time with this one, spending some time with that one. What's going on with you? What's going on with that? Coming through the house is, hey, how y'all doing? When it's dinner ready, I go take me a shower, turn on the TV, and that's it.
That's it. Yes.
And I think, like I know, my husband and I often say, you know, we just celebrated 18 years of marriage and as a blended family. And I would say our biggest challenges was because of being a blended family. It was the baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, and then as the children get older, even though you raise them together, like you start seeing the attributes and the generational curses that creep in. Because what we did learn raising children when they were young, like we covered them in prayer, like they were covered. We saw no attributes of them generational curses. But then when they get of a certain age and they're responsible for, you know, doing what God wants them to do or not, then they open the door and let all that stuff in. And now you're, even as an adult, all of our children are grown. We have grandchildren, and now we're dealing with the residue of still the exes, you know, and what they had in their family, and even us, what we had in our family and stuff. And so it makes it complicated. So we always tell people when we're counseling, baby, you better count up the cost when it comes to a blended family, because it's one thing to come together as two people coming from two households, you know, coming together in marriage. But when you factor in children that comes from other seeds, it's a whole nother avenue to your marriage.
You know, and I think I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said, because we had problems with we had you know trying to live in a righteous household, trying to do the right things, trying to go to church, we had structure, we had stabilities, we got guidelines and rules. Y'all can have fun, but while you're in the house, there's a certain standard, there's a certain reverence. Because, you know, I go like this. The Bible says that we enter the gates with thanksgiving when we come into the house of the Lord. Exactly. And to have reverence for God, which is what we try to do, is to try to have the same relationship with the kids. But yet you can have a good time. But what we ran into is when they went over to the exit.
There you go. When they go back to the other house.
Oh my God. You know, and then how it started over. Every 2 weeks, every weekend, or whatever it is, and then picking up habits and an attitude, because it kind of looks like, you know, you're trying to restrict me and you're trying to hold us back and you're trying to not let me live my life, and all we're trying to do is give you structure, where, you know, it may not be the same in that other household. So and you have no control.
None
over that other household, and that is what kind of puts the stress. And one of the things that put the stress in the relationship, in the marriage, because you're trying to correct things over the same thing over.
Yes. And then there was time that I had to learn that she was, the kids are mixed with her and the other seed. So it's more like, when do I discipline them? When do I come at them hardcore? But one thing I learned through it all, that if I would just trust in my wife to understand the seeds that's in them, and ask God to order my steps, search me, and know that if there's anything in me that come at these kids that's not of you, then deal with me, Lord. So the Lord would always turn me towards my wife. That's why I thank God for her, because I didn't grow up in church. I could have came from the street way of dealing with things, but by God turning my mind, my heart and stuff, and dropping my pride, and letting her say, well, baby, you can don't deal with that. I see what's going on with them. I see what's happening with them. Let me deal with it. And then she pointed out, and that really helped me through the years, y'all, that this lady here knew her children, but she knew that I wanted to be the type of father that I wanted to be. So she helped me groom. She helped groom me. God blessed her to help groom me to deal with my covenant kids, and
Right.
it's been a blessing.
Ronnie, that's so important right there, because and we've been honest, because everybody's not seasoned, and what I often see people run into, especially because the women do have the children most of the time,
Yeah.
and most of the time, some women overcompensate because the spouse or the man is not there anymore, and so when you see her love that she's been dating, and she wants him to come into her life, but she's been with him with the kids for the last 5 or 10 years, and she's kind of overcompensated for not a man being around. And then now you're going to marry someone, and it's so important for us couples to be on the same page.
Yes.
You can't
Communication.
go in between. You can't tell the kids one thing over here and tell your spouse something over here. I had we practice in our house to where Karen, if we were going to address, we addressed them as a group.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And you got to speak.
United front.
And there's no more. When you're done, you had your say so. So don't, whatever, you can't go kind of like, our parents used to do us. Don't go with the girls going that, Daddy, can I have this? And your mom, we
They
can't
play the parents against each other.
And so it's so imperative, and I know it's hard sometimes, and I'm saying because a woman does have the kids. She's feeding them, she cleaning them. I mean, she has the children when it's a breakup. And it can be difficult to overcompensate for that child. And so, Karen and I, when we first dated, just like you, Ryan, she saw my heart. She saw that I was a little rough around the edges. And I had to pray, and I had to ask God how to navigate, because each child was different. And they were different from my children.
So different.
So they weren't going to respond the way I might conduct myself with my children.
Exactly.
So I had to do a lot of observation. I had to do a lot of talking. Is this permissible? Is this not permissible?
And it was frustrating because in all of that, I was like the middle person.
We always the middle person.
Sharing the kids this, mom, Marshall this, and so then trying to be able to keep peace because what happens is the relationship between I'll say the new parent. The relationship between the new parent and the parent, and the child has to be established before any type of discipline can come into play.
Exactly.
They're not going to receive it.
Exactly.
So, and in that space is where, we had to do all this. I had to do all this juggling between the two, and it was very, very, very stressful and uncomfortable. Because they had to develop that relationship. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know what this backup, this sound is.
Undo that, just go by the computer.
So I'm gonna let you all talk for a second, and we're gonna see if we can change, adjust our mic again.
Okay. Well, one of the things I would say that I had to learn, and God had to convict me on this when my husband and I got married. I told him, I said, baby, I realize the Bible say it's, God, the man, and the children. I said, but we came together different, like I already had these 3 kids before me and you came together. So not that I'm gonna put the kids before you, or not that you're gonna, vice versa, but I'm gonna always make sure my kids know, our kids know that I got their back. I said, I don't ever want them to experience what I experienced as a child. And that's my mama not having my back. Like my mama choosing other things over me and me ending up in a foster home. So because we had that conversation in advance, because he knew my background and where I came from and everything, he was not like, oh no, that's not how it's supposed to be. No, he was like, baby, we're going to work through this day by day. We're going to take it day by day, because he knew where my heart was and the fact that I was so traumatized as a child at the hands of my mom. So I was this over, gotta overdo it type mother, or not, like you were saying about compensating. I wanted to make sure they always knew that mama had their back. If nobody else have your back, now if you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong, and I'm gonna discipline you as a court, but I'm always gonna have your back. And so I think running, I had that great understanding, but God did like convict me on, okay, you still have to have this boundary where the kids never feel like they come before him that they start disrespecting him.
It's trust. Yeah. And I knew, and see, this is the thing, guys. I'm telling you, this is the thing. When God let me, allow me to okay, be mature, Ronnie. I understand what your wife is saying, and yes, she's a mother and she's gonna protect her kids and this and that and this. Just relax. You're gonna get through this. Don't let Satan get you out of line by saying no. I'm fit to whoop this boy. And I know my wife is telling me, baby, I know what's going on with them and let me deal with it. But the thing is, he gave me the maturity, like you said, he gave me that maturity to understand. Just weigh it out and let your wife see that she can trust you, that you're gonna allow her to be like you said, Karen, that middle person to between us, and it's going to get to the point where she said, "I trust you, whether you whipped him or not, whatever it may, discipline him or not. I trust you," because she knew that I would not go overboard with it, because I had matured to the point of looking at her deal with him before I have to deal with him, and it just taught me well, y'all. I'm telling you, man, God is awesome to bring a blended family together with all of the strongholds from these families, from witchcrafts to all type of spirits that's coming. But he give you the spirit and the soul and the body to adjust and understand that you can love these kids to the point you think that they begin to look like you. I mean, and that's true.
And it goes back to that scripture, though, baby, that I love to quote the scripture, because I love this scripture, and that's James 1:5, which says, if we lack understanding in anything, that God would give it to us. And so it was many days, like literally, I just had to go to God. I was like, God, I need you to show us how to do this, how to, maneuver this, with the baby mama drama, with the baby daddy drama, or these kids just acting in a way. I would say that I don't think we ever experienced, maybe one time here or there, where they actually was just totally disrespectful, like the three I gave birth to disrespecting him, or his daughter disrespecting me. It was one time I had an instance where I sent her home. I told him, I said, baby, take her home before it get really ugly. And when he knew I said that, because I never have to go that far. So when I said that, he knew. He was like, okay. And she immediately got home. She called back apologizing, because she was like, I was wrong. I should have never did that to you, Mom. I mean, and it was resolved just like that. And that being I call her my bonus daughter, being my bonus daughter, and us having that many years together now, I can say she never disrespected me. And that, to me, that's all God, because that ain't a lot of people's testimony.
Yeah.
Can't hear y'all. We can't hear y'all. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear us.
Can
Can't hear y'all.
but I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking till y'all come up. Just come in when you can, okay? When you get the sound.
There
you go.
Okay, we gotta have some fun, y'all. Ain't nobody get baptized in lemon juice. So
Just
we're
have
gonna
some sense to say to your wife, you didn't want us to hear it. That's all.
You know, but you know what y'all were talking about. I think discipline is so important because there's always going to be, you know, here's the thing about children. They're trying to find their identity.
Yeah.
They're trying to find out who they are. And I would always tell the kids that I'm not trying to replace your father. Just like I like what Tina said. She said, I'm just an extra dad. Look at me as a bonus. But at the same time, because I love you, I'm not going to treat you no different than I treat my kids.
Exactly.
Right.
Because here's the thing. And you have to stand firm. Because if I'm going to show you what the love of Christ looks like, that means that comes with some correction.
It does.
Right.
If I can get corrected, you can get corrected too.
Yes.
Now,
Exactly.
the Bible says that when we go through a correction, that it don't feel good
at the time.
But it's for us to be pruned.
It works for our good.
Have some fruit. And so what y'all was talking about
Charles?
Being disrespectful. Well, I did have to go there, you know, and it was so funny because, afterwards, and after some years go by, it was even more love there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing was that I think that I didn't want to, but as a man, I try to get them to understand that this is my wife.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to allow you or anybody else
to be
disrespectful to it. Just because you feel like this is your mom and you can say what you want to, that's not happening. Because we're trying to teach what reverence is, and especially with boys. Because boys have to understand that there is a consequence when you step over the line. It doesn't have to be physical, but there is something that just like God allowed us to go down the line, we get pruned. So in the household, if you can't follow the rules, and this is where I think that you have to stand firm.
Right.
Is that we both have to stand firm. They're gonna go through whether they get something taken away. You have to go through it. You have to, and nobody can. Well, I think it's time. No, we gave him a time. We're gonna stay with the time because see, my thing is, as an African American man, I don't always get the privileges as my white counter friends, and so I was trying to teach them that you can't afford to slip up out here.
That's it.
You cannot afford, and I'm just being real. And so what I'm trying to teach you is be like the Bible said, be slow to speak. I mean, be quick to listen and slow to speak. And so I just think that's one of the things that's it's a family. It's always about family. It's always about talking. It's always about everybody having a role and knowing what their role is in the family and what they bring to the table.
And also being okay with knowing that once you have that together, it's going to change.
Right. And believe it.
And as they move on, it's going to change. Yeah, we have to take and revisit it.
Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead, baby.
One of the things that we did, I think, that really kind of helped as our kids, hit them teenage years and start getting older, we would literally have family meetings where all of us is there, all of us blended family. We raised 4 together, 3 that I gave birth to, 1 that he gave birth to. Well, not gave birth to, but
Thank you. This is not a weird show, y'all. No, I did not have
that you let loose the seed, however you want to say it, the sperm. Anyway,
no way, I'm not that type of person.
We used to have family meetings when we get together, and we would allow them to vent.
But she holding my hand because she knows she kind of said something.
We would allow them to vent. They could tell us about us. They could talk to each other. No heated, no, getting mad enough to fight type of thing, but just having a family meeting. And I feel like, like you were saying earlier, that us as African Americans or and blended family, like that stuff we had to incorporate into our life that wasn't used to happening in the Black family.
Exactly.
Black families, most of the time, you sit back as a child and listen at the grown-ups. You don't get in grown-ups conversations and all that. So we wanted to change that culture and let our kids know that they had a say-so. Like if you feel like, okay, like just say for instance, the girls would say, Dad always coming at me this way, or this way.
Oh, they did that a lot.
Or mama, so mean and won't loosen the chain at all. Things like that. We will literally sit and have a family meeting at least every 6 months.
Yeah.
Just to let them vent, let us vent. We tell them about them. They tell us about us, and
what
we
can
cry.
we correct? With as parents,
Yeah.
What do we need to do to enhance what we doing for you all? And it was.
And we would shed tears. We would laugh. We would get angry, and we had all the emotions that would happen. But it always brought about healing to let us know, even though we're a blended family, like we got each other's back. Like we wanted our kids to always. I didn't grow up with a close-knit family. I wanted my kids to always know that they got each other. Even whether you're blended or not, y'all got each other, and y'all need to be there for each other as much as you possibly can.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most difficult time since y'all been married as a blended family? What is the most difficult time period that y'all really had to know that you was on one accord and that bond was not going to be broken, and you knew it was going through some times?
We because at the time we just had a boy and a girl, and she's 3 years older than the boy, and so at the time we always had the youngest one, and the boy, because she was with us. I met her when she was 14. Yeah. So she was with us, with me just 4 years in the house.
Okay.
But then, us struggling, us trying to buy homes, us trying to stay in the right areas for them to get an education. But
making sacrifices for particularly the youngest one.
And I think the most difficult time was the youngest one, the boy who always wanted to go stay with his father. Yeah. And that was really difficult because I was trying to teach him much how to be a man, how to finish and not take shortcuts.
Yes.
We even moved our home so he could be in the district to play basketball.
Wow.
That he wanted to be in. Wow. And so we were really struggling with whether or not to let this boy go and live with someone who didn't practice what we practiced.
Gotcha.
Strong in the areas as we were.
Gotcha.
And so therefore rebellious within him, being disrespectful.
So in other words, I don't mean to cut you off, but so in other words, when he go there and come back, those are the attributes that he was bringing back.
He's saying he went to.
I'm saying he didn't have to go there. He didn't have to go there.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
He had that rebellious spirit in him that he didn't like rules. Can I say that? He didn't like structure and authority. And so very rebellious. And so we had to stick together because
wow.
I'm the outsider.
Wow.
And Karen's with him for 10 years in between marriages, before she even meets me. And we all know boys are more, partial to their mother. And so I'm the outsider. And it was very difficult because he liked to take shortcuts in life. And so the disrespect, I want to go live with my dad,
despite all the sacrifices. So the thing is, like, we were doing all that we knew to do to pour into him, and yet and still he wanted to be with dad.
Gotcha.
So
we've been there, done that too.
So Marshall, did it hurt? Did it hurt?
You know what the crazy part of it was, Ronnie, is I have spent more time with him. My children, they live in Missouri.
Illinois.
And so in Illinois, so I don't get a chance to be 24/7 dad to them, like I am to the children that are here.
Yeah.
And so we share the love of basketball. We share, he knows the Bible, he goes to church. Good kid, really good kid. But what hurt was I made all these sacrifices trying to get off work early to go coach a basketball team. I made all these sacrifices to take you to different basketball camps. I made all these sacrifices, spent all this extra money, some of the things that I was doing, working extra jobs, just so I can help you be
in a better position.
To get a scholarship, to get a better education. And it's so hurtful because it's real simple.
That wasn't appreciated.
It's real simple. I'm a person that we're simple. Clean your room, do your homework,
be respectful.
That's it. I mean, it can get more simple than that.
Yeah. Well, it hurts. I have to say it hurts. I mean, I went through those times. I went through. That's why I asked that question to you. Is because you're doing all you can do. To get up early in the morning, get to work, and work all week, and bring home some bread to make sure things are paid. Make sure we taking trips together. That's one thing we did as a family. Even from kids up, we went on family trips where they can love on each other, get to know each other, but then when that moment comes and that spirit hits that they want to rebel and just because maybe they learned something with their circle out there, and out there, so it was tough. So I know it was tough.
And what I used to have to
hold up, baby. Go ahead,
real quick. Let me give you a testimony about this. So it did hurt. It hurt when you're at graduations and you're not invited. My wife had to say, "Come over here and take a picture." Whoa. You see what I'm saying? It hurt but let me tell you what God did. Can I get my bounce on?
Yes. Come on, share the testimony.
My birthday was May the 13th. I forget what's my birthday. Father's Day. Come on now. Now also Ronnie with his brothers. We didn't throw a few bowls. I'm just being real with you.
Which brother you talking about?
I'm talking about the ex. Come on now. I'm saved, but I'm just being real. So I've done all these things, and we never had a good relationship. We never were on the same page. He's a little arrogant, stuff like that. But let me tell you what God did on Father's Day. She took me out for Father's Day, a real nice steakhouse, and Karen said, "The phone is for you." I'm like, we're calling Karen first asking for me, and it's him on the phone. I don't have no Ronnie. I don't have no time.
I'm listening.
None. No, hey, to the point to we can be in the same place. I said hello, but because of our situation, we don't speak. And so this brother called me. He said, "Man, I just want to tell you, I get choked up because I got a tear in my eye." Yeah. He said, "I want to tell you." This is a narcissistic person. He said, "I want to tell you. I want to thank you. I thank you for what you did for all the years and since you've been with my family." Wow. Man, I got so choked up. I had to leave the table because this is what God was showing me. What you did, and the Bible said what you do in secret. Private, I will reward you openly. Not that I needed that validation from him, but the thing was, it was like the man said, "I've been sharing with you. You did what I couldn't do." Wow! It was such a blessing to hear that because I was saying, God, you know what? My labor wasn't in vain.
Yes, that's it.
Come on.
My labor wasn't in vain. I had to share that because I would have never, ever thought, and I told my son, I said, you know what? That's what God does because when you keep doing the right thing, nobody do it, but when you keep doing the right thing,
that's right.
God in you, they see God in you. Yeah. That means that brother has grew as a man of God.
Exactly, because of the lifestyle that you showed him.
Yes. And I just thought consistency. I said, I couldn't believe that.
It's awesome.
Yeah. That was good. So that was, it was worth, all the
struggle. God was working it out.
And you used the right word. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, and God knows that, Marshall. And I commend you, brother. I commend you. We are generals, not soldiers. We are generals of what God have blessed in us, put in us. The love that we share is beyond beyond, above and beyond. I mean, there's no word to explain how you can you can do what you do, and Satan is dealing with all of the other issues with him and this and that, but God to turn his heart and give him a heart posture to come and relay that to you, and you have been in charge of his son for these many years. It's nothing greater, man. It's nothing greater. You deserve that. You deserve everything.
So Ronnie, if I had to tell a man on here, I've learned that you can't change children. I can't change my wife, but I can take everything to God. And I can't ask God. I said, Lord, you know what? Now, I can't persuade her. I talked about it. You know what I need. And she knows what she needs. So I'm just asking you, like Katina said a while ago, she said, if anyone asks us for wisdom, I mean, if anyone lacks wisdom, let them ask.
James.
And so I beg of y'all to take that to God and ask him for the wisdom how to navigate through that, because anger, trying to stiff arm somebody, out talk somebody, it's not gonna work.
It don't work.
Only by the wisdom of God, and it's a lot of prayer.
Exactly.
We pray every night before we went to bed
together.
That's it. And that's the thing. You have to stand together, because what we learned over all them years of blended family, what we always kept and right in our face is that these kids gonna get grown and go on with their life. So we have to stay tight. We have to not get lost. We can't get lost in the midst of it.
That's true.
We gotta get them. We gotta get them to grown. But after that, we still got to be good. And I would say God did miracles. When I say miracles, within we had more baby mama drama than we did baby daddy drama. We had a few occasions of baby daddy drama. But the way God shifted that relationship, like me and her sit down and talk like we've been friends forever. I mean, we share a grandbaby together. We get together and do things with the grandbaby, and it is to see that now and to see what it used to be. Oh my God. And that's things like that let us know the mighty God that we serve, because in the natural, people be like, oh, that's shady, or that ain't gonna work, or this shouldn't be done. But we can't hear that. We have to block out all of that and keep doing what is right, no matter how it hurts, no matter how embarrassing it is, no matter how the kids be like, mama, you gonna take that from that mama, or vice versa, because they'll even try to get in the midst of it. But you have to stand your ground, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. That's what it boils down to.
Hey,
everything you do, you got to exemplify God and allow God to be working through you, even when flesh wants to rise up.
Man, yes.
I think this is the biggest one, guys. I want y'all to talk about this real quick. I know we got that long, but I got to get this one in.
Okay.
It's when the kids are older. Yes. It's when they're out of the house.
So much work.
And Katina said, she said some parts. She said that we still got to be together because y'all gonna be doing y'all. But here's the thing. We're gonna be real for a minute.
Yeah.
Now they're out the house. Now that everything that you taught them, everything that you try to equip them with, and they go out, and we all go fall short, but you go out and they go live life how they want to live.
Exactly.
And it becomes self-destructive, but they want to come back home, but they don't want to follow your rules no more.
Wow.
Have y'all dealt with that?
We haven't dealt with. We've dealt with it to a degree, but when it comes to not following the rules, you out. It ain't like with us, like once the rules were brought, like we give them per se a guideline. This is this. If that is broken, you out.
Let me say this. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And because we didn't raise you to even come back home. Even think about really trying.
We raised you to be independent.
Exactly.
But I said that to say this though, y'all. This scripture here, I like it, burn it on my heart, and I keep it before my forehead. And this is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Cast all your cares upon him. And I'm telling you, y'all, do it. Do it on every aspect of your parenthood and your kids' life. Speak that they take every issue and give it to him. That is what he loves. He loves for you to respect him that way. It may sound harsh to take trouble to him, but he loves that. And I always say on the show, and you go back and look at him, put him on blast. Put Jesus on blast. He did not die for you to hold on to your issues in dealing with your being parenthood or your children. Give it to Jesus Christ. And I mean fast and pray with those two. Give it. Yes. Here it is, Lord. I'm gonna fast and pray. You fill the cup up now.
Yes.
And
and one of the things that I would touch on also as being in blended family, like the enemy will play this in your head. I know, especially as mothers, I don't know how is heavy that fathers deal with this, but mothers, what did I do wrong? Like, where did I miss it? Like, where did this turn crooked? Like, and I know that used to be a big battle for me because I was like this over compensating parent in the first place. So then when your child go left or go right or go the wrong way or whatever, you play in your head like, what did I do wrong? And so I just had to get to the point where I was like, God, if I did whatever I did, that I didn't do it right, or even if it's not me, if it's them, God, all I can say is help us get through this, because nobody is perfect. None of us came with a blueprint book. And so we have to give ourselves grace, especially in blended families, because blended family, you're dealing with other people's seeds and you're dealing with stuff you don't even know you're dealing with. You know, and so we have to give ourselves grace as parents and just say, God, I did all I know to do. So Lord, you fix it, because I'm your child. Like my husband was just saying, give it all to him. I'm your child. I'm serving you all I know how. I need you to do something with this child of mine.
You know, Katina, I like what you said, because we it's good. Like you said, we're in our 50s and we didn't get a voice.
Y'all are. I'm in my 40s.
Okay.
Hey, I ain't rushing my age. I'm
still. Hey, Marsha, you see the bankhead.
I see. But like I said, we didn't get a voice, and so we try to give our children a voice.
Exactly.
And the thing is, though, about getting the voice is that I don't mind you having a voice, but what happens, I think, is. This is why I say you have to be on one accord and you have to have a strong foundation. It's because I give you a voice, you think you're on my level.
No, exactly.
That's because I've given you a voice. I've heard what you had to say, regardless if you like what we like. If you don't like it, we can agree to disagree.
Exactly.
But the best thing for someone watching out here is to be on one accord and don't cater to the kids. Now, when I mean cater, don't cater to the point to like, oh, well, if I don't do this, then, he's going to have an attitude.
Trust God.
You have to trust God, because like, I've heard parents say that so many times, what you said, I don't know what I did wrong.
Exactly.
I've done this. And I have to say, baby, listen. I have to say, listen. Those kids, like you said, they have 2 C's in them. And so you've given them the best of what you can give them, but that other side, we all write our testimony. We have to let God deal with that.
Exactly. And you know what, y'all? I don't understand though how they don't get if I'm talking about the parents, the other parents, where instead of giving flack, why not look at it as okay? Children, you have two sets of parents now. You got 2 daddies now. You got 2 mamas. You've been blessed. You've been blessed. God is giving you an overflow. If this one don't have no money to give you, this one may have the money to give. If this one don't have the money to get, you got 4 ways to get it right.
Yeah.
But you choose to be that type of parent to bring the flack and bring the negativity when you're trying to be the best parent you can. And like I said, I didn't get it as much as my wife did. But there was times. But my wife, man, woof.
I called it. Yeah. I call it on a weekly basis. When I say weekly, because like you said, Marsha, earlier, is generally the majority of the time, the mother is the one that have a daughter. If it's the daughter, especially, the mother have the kids. And so, they always want to play that card of, I ain't gonna let you see your child if you don't do this or do that. And so that would always put him in a predicament of trying to go along. But it was a battle. It was a constant battle. But when I say God did that thing, and
look at my smile on the post.
Yeah, and all of us have a great relationship now. Literally, we all, my bonus daughter and her mom, and now grandbaby, all have a great relationship. And to the fact that we can count on each other, we can call on each other, we can work through things together. So it's a God thing. It has definitely been a blessing. But like we were saying earlier, the hardest part though is when you see your young adults, when you know what you done put in them, what they've been exposed to, you gave them the best you can give, and they still go astray with drugs or alcohol or whatever it may be, adultery or whatever they do. And as a parent, it's just like, really? Like, why? How? It just, and then you just have to give it to God, because if not, like, you will go back to when they were little, when you had all them sleepless nights about wondering what to do, how to do this or that. But then when they get adult, like I used to hear this saying all the time, and I understood it when my kids got grown. The older people used to say, when they're little, they're on your lap. When they're older, they're on your heart.
Yes.
And that is so true.
That is so true.
I like that. That
is really good.
I don't know which stage is the hardest. I thought, them being little was hard, but baby,
I don't know. At first, I thought it was like the teenage years, but no, I don't know. I think it's an adult, because we have to completely rely on God.
Exactly.
We can't punish. We can't take that away from them. We can't.
Exactly.
They made their own choices.
They made their own choices, exactly. So we have to let them live by it. So
exactly. This has been so good. We almost out of time. But I want to give retreat.
I know we're going to talk about the retreat, but I want to give.
We're going to have to do a part 2, is what I was going to say.
Marsha and Karen, some closing remarks to talk to the married couples, blended families. Just give them some, maybe 1 or 2 points to go on, to glean on.
Okay.
Go ahead. So my point would be to
what's up, brother?
Stick together. Stay on one accord with everything, and be a united front.
My thing is to, before and if you're already in it, like Ronnie said, 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your burdens. When God says get some counseling. Stay on one accord. Get around people that can give you wisdom and knowledge, and people that's already
good. Yes.
Been there, we didn't have any. We didn't have it.
And then also, no matter what happens, be prayerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be prayerful.
Absolutely.
Stay on one accord, and just stay anchored in the Lord.
That's it.
Exactly. Amen. Right. Well, we thank y'all so much. Yes. We appreciate y'all, first of all, being in our life, because y'all has been
likewise.
We've known each other for a short time, but honey, we've been through a lot together already.
Yes. And I want to say to brother Stokes, we having a marriage retreat, so look it up on Bright event. Look it up.
Right. On your page. I'll post it on your page.
On my page.
But anyway, you guys have been amazing. We appreciate your expertise. We appreciate you guys sharing what you've been through in life, as blended family, and also just your expertise in your field of work. That has been such a blessing, and we would love to do another show. Even maybe do another topic, or we may do a part 2 on this. But we definitely will get you guys back on again and sometime in the near future.
Okay, now talk about the retreat.
So now we got to talk about the retreat. Just for a few
you all
minutes.
better be there. We want you there. We want that power and that fire there with us now.
Yes. So let's talk about the retreat. The dates of the retreat is September the 10th through the 12th.
Write it down.
It will be held in Mountaintop Inn Resort. And that's in, I forgot the name of the city, Jesus? It's in
Georgia. Google it.
Yeah, no, I'm finna call it all out.
It's in Ball Grounds,
Is it
Georgia.
in Ball Ground?
Is it in Ball Grounds? I saw that.
Hold on just a minute. Let me get that pulled up.
Hold tight, y'all.
Yes.
Hey, this bone of my bone, we can stay on long as we want to.
I know.
Yes, and I'm finna share the flyer on the page so everybody that hadn't signed up can sign up.
Hit this?
It's called Warm Springs.
Yes.
Warm Springs, Georgia. It's at Mountaintop Inn and Resort. And
I hear you, Charles. I see you. Come back next week with us now.
And so it is going to be again September the 10th through the 12th. And the cost is $300 per couple. Let me explain to y'all because we keep getting the questions. What all does that $300 cover? It covers 2-night stay at the resort. It covers your food, which is we have a catered chef.
Whoa.
That's going to provide that, plus a bunch of extras that I'm not going to tell you. You got to show up.
Got to get there.
Saturday night will be a gala where you're going to dress up, formal wear.
You see this?
And at the end, we're going to do a vow renewal. And so when I say $300 really don't even pay for your rooms, y'all, we're being a blessing to y'all. $300 don't even cover the 2-night stay.
And this is our inaugural. This is the very first one. So the couples that come to this is going to be special in the heart, going to be special always. Yes. And we're going to kaboom from that point on. So. But
I'm going to post the link right after this video. And so you guys please sign up because we're only doing 12 couples and that includes us. So 11 left. And we're over half booked.
Okay.
Yes. We're already over half, but I think we may have 5 slots left if I'm not mistaken. So you want to go ahead and sign up. I know it's not until September, but I'm telling you, it's filling up. And once it's full, we can't do nothing. We gave you the opportunity.
And also, if you want to sponsor someone, a couple, that's good with us. Just go to Eventbrite.
Yes, I'm going to post the link. Yes. So if you want to sponsor a couple, if you're single and can't make it to this one, because we're going to have a singles event later, but if you want to sponsor a couple to be able to go, please do so. Or if you're a married couple and just can't come and would like to sponsor a couple, please do so.
Yes.
But that's all we have for tonight.
What about the payments, baby? You want to explain that also?
No, that was just last week, baby. God gave me that last week.
You're right.
And we're going to move on forward. So last week we opened the floor to break it down into 2 payments.
But that was last week.
That was last week. And like I said, if you don't inbox me and talk to me everybody's situation is different. God allowed us to open that. But then, I got the people that did it and we're moving forward now. We're getting too close to time. But anyway, we love you guys. Y'all. It's going to be amazing.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
We're going to put y'all in the green room. Y'all hold on just a minute, okay?
Listen, y'all.
Okay.
It may be a part 2 with this because this is more. We need more information out there to people.
Yes, but everyone that's still on, we appreciate y'all sharing and just the love and the comments and everything. And I will post that link for the marriage retreat. But you have been tuned into Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart. We love you guys. Good night.
Toodaloo. Toodaloo.